So, as is somewhat typical for me, I've messed up something important. Something important to me, something that I valued. And it really was because I was trying too hard. I was pushing too hard, and I was blind to my own dysfunction and weakness in that regard. I got carried away. I got carried away, as I am prone to do. And I'm hoping that it's not irredeemable. In any case, as always, there's a lesson in it. This seems to be the way that I learn. It's the hard way. The painful way. But I should be used to pain by now. The thing is that I don't want to be used to pain. I want to use the pain to at least benefit somebody else. Even if I continue to feel it, I would like to at least make something out of it that's not in vain. I'll give more detail about what happened. So there's a person that I became interested in, I became aware of, and I bombarded them with messages. This is somebody I never met in person, over the internet, and every day I sent them a ton of messages, long-winded messages. I kind of just unloaded and confessed and exposed myself. I mean, not inappropriately. The inappropriate part was just probably too much. Not the content, but the quantity. And the thing is I didn't receive any refusal from them. I felt that I even contextualized that they could just tell me to F off but they're more compassionate than that. They're more kind than that. I think that was me projecting a bit, that I kind of expect that almost from people by now. This is a self-defeating kind of prophecy. Something that I did gain from it is really a reflection of my need to express myself. I don't have faith that if I went to a therapist, I would receive, well, it would just cost so much money. It would cost so much money to go. I have to figure out a way of addressing my issues. That doesn't involve paying somebody. I don't have that kind of money. I also know I do have the capacity, I do have the self-awareness, but I need to be disciplined and be responsible. Not just in self-awareness, but actually taking action and taking steps to implement the things that will help me with my evolution. There are a lot of difficult things inside of me. I am very conflicted and torn. I'm sensitive and analytical, self-critical and critical of others, passionate and wounded. I have some negative traits that I tend to isolate. I tend to cut off what could be support systems because I'm sensitive to any kind of betrayal of trust, or if I feel like the person isn't giving me enough of their attention, or they don't value me enough, I'm not going to beg for it. I'm not going to cling to them. I'm not going to demand of them something that they don't want to give. I want them to want me. I want them to want to be present for me in the way that I want them to be present, which is vividly, intensely present. And I will be that for them as well. I will be intensely present for them as well. And I know that's a lot to ask. So I felt like this person was a good candidate to be intensely present for me. But we barely know each other. And so that was too much to ask. It was too much to ask all at once. This person did explain that they had a lot going on in their life right now. And I think that I didn't know what to do with that. Because for me, the floodgates had already opened. I'd already started tapping into fantasies of connection, fantasies of intimacy, fantasies of co-creation. And those feelings and that energy in me is so potent that it knows no bounds. And unless the person is being really overt and saying no, then I'm gonna flow that way. I'm gonna express myself in that direction. What I'm taking from this, though, is I'm pent up. I need to have an outlet and not put all that onto somebody, because that is too much to expect. I am a creative being. I've always got lots of ideas and lots of excitement. I mean, I don't always have lots of excitement, but I want to have lots of excitement. When I don't have lots of excitement, when I don't have something to pour my energy into, I get depressed. I get very negative. And that creative energy becomes destructive. It becomes self-destructive. I could. Yeah, it's not good. I need to harness that energy, and not expect that somebody else harnesses it for me or receives it for me. I do want to just. I do want to give. I do want to care for people. I do want to nurture people. I do want to positively contribute to people's lives and the world. But I do need to be careful not to be overbearing about it, overly intense about it. When I'm feeling that, I don't have a lot of oversight, perhaps. So even the reason I'm making this video is because I realized in sending this person all these messages, it was an outlet. And also I reviewed those messages. I listened to them. There were some videos and voice messages. And they're kind of cringe. I mean, there's this mixed thing with, I think that self-reflection can be very useful. So video, I think actually can be a therapeutic tool, and the effect that YouTube has had on our world is pretty fascinating. It's pretty fascinating. I think we're fascinated with ourselves. We're fascinated with other human beings. We're interesting. When it comes to ourselves, it's a real mix of fascination and dislike. We all have criticisms of ourselves. We all have insecurities. And especially the people that are the most emotionally mature, I think. Maybe not completely emotionally mature, but more mature because they're taking more responsibility for their experience. So emotionally immature people are going to be projecting those negative traits onto other people. And as we become more emotionally mature, we take responsibility for our feelings and thoughts. And that's not easy. It's not easy looking in the mirror honestly. Because you realize there's no use in blaming anyone else. It doesn't benefit you in any way. It makes your relationships more difficult because people don't like being blamed for your shit. And when we're not aware of it, we're going to be doing that unconsciously. We're going to be projecting onto them unconsciously, and we're going to be putting that in our tone of voice and different behaviors, and it's going to be messing with the vibe. That also can be a result of a lot of negative self-beliefs too, because it can be unconsciously coming into interactions. Nobody likes self-deprecating behavior that's kind of like, I mean, this is a kind of narcissistic thing where the person feels so empty inside that they're trying to draw somebody else's energy of affirmation of, but because they're so bereft of any inner sense of well-being, they're kind of a bottomless pit. We have to nurture a relationship with ourselves. We have to have an interaction with ourselves, and as that becomes more honest, we take on more responsibility for our state of being and our experience. As we become more aware of who we are, and we take action to address the things that we assess as needing improvement, then we just become all-round better people. We enjoy ourself more, as we should aspire to, because that's who we're with for our whole life. If you can't be with yourself, if you can't love yourself, you can't be with or love anyone else. You can only give what you have. So it is really important to self-reflect and to not avoid the things that we assess need improvement. Who cares what somebody else thinks if you don't also agree with that assessment? If somebody doesn't like you for whatever reason, but you actually, in considering it, you actually don't think it needs changing, then tell them to find another friend or look elsewhere. We don't need to be for everyone. But as we love ourselves more and are willing to be honest with ourselves, we'll be able to be honest with other people. It will just generally improve our relationships with the people that we want to have relationships with, because we don't necessarily want to have relationships with everyone. We don't need to hate them or them to be a bad person. It can just maybe be not a match. There's only 24 hours in the day. We do have a limit on our time and energy and our consciousness, how much we want to spend with different people. This does come a little bit back to me being demanding of this person, and ultimately them saying, I don't have the bandwidth for you right now, which is remarkable that they were that polite with me. I recognize that it is a fault of mine to bombard people and to test people. I think it's because many times in my life I have felt people have let me down, and I couldn't trust people at face value. That I wanted to see how resilient people were when things were challenging. It's a mixture of things, because partly it is also my distrust of myself, my criticism of myself, that I am difficult, I'm too much, I'm too intense, my emotions are too intense. I definitely have that feeling and thought, and it's been shown to me in my life. At this point, I do take responsibility for that. I believe that's the way it works. Yes, there were people in my life that treated me unwell, and this is a very nuanced conversation where it's not about victim blaming or gaslighting or any of that. Both can be true. Both can be true, that there were people that didn't treat us well. And then as we become adults, mentally and emotionally, we can let go of that, for one, because it's over, unless we're continuing that narrative in our heads. It really can be over if we stop the narration and redefine it for ourselves. And we focus on what we learned and the strength that we gained from it, the resilience and the adaptability. And this is maturity, and this is self-responsibility that comes with time and practice. Anyways, I think this is me starting actually to use video as an outlet. It's scary for me because it's only going to be meaningful for me if I do publish it, if I do put it on the internet, which I have a huge aversion to, for good reason. But as far as my growth goes, I think that it's an effective way to address this. My fear of being seen, my resistance to expressing myself in a public way, that I'll be not accepted, that I'll be criticized and judged and condemned. And there's some backstory to that, of course. But I see my trajectory of growth as being more public and being less fearful about that. So instead of making it one individual's responsibility to receive me, to see me, to take all that on. Instead, it can be the internet. It can be whoever tunes in and maybe that's nobody. Maybe that's just like a random person that sees 5 seconds of something. But in my mind, there's the potential that other people would watch it, that other people may benefit from it, that other people may see me being vulnerable, being honest. They may see my intellect, my creativity, my heart, my emotions. And that will benefit all of us. That will benefit. Maybe it will encourage them to do the same if they want to do that. And it will help me be a better person. It will help me evolve and grow. And I think down the line is what I really hope is to be able to be a wise teacher, coach, guide. That's what I aspire to be. To be a healer and of service to the world. And I see that as an artistic path as well, as a spiritual path. And I think ultimately that is what I'm on, is a spiritual path. And it seems strange to think that putting videos on the internet would be a spiritual practice. But I think we need to think out of the box. I do. I think out of the box. And so it's not that far-fetched for me. I think that we could even move into a world that's far stranger than spirituality through video or internet. Anyways, I'll wrap it up here. And just want to say thank you.